y'all doing at home? My name is Hazenberg.
And I am RPG. We are so glad to have all of you joining us on our stream here today as we are kicking off our final game for the night of day one of Big O 2019.
That is correct. We've got an awesome game for you. My home league, Red Stick Roller Derby out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
They're going to be going up against V-Town, who we've seen play a little bit earlier today, that I had the pleasure of announcing for them. That was a lot of fun.
Red Stick has also played once already today and won against Wasatch Roller Derby.
V-Town played against, and I just blanked on the name, of course, because, you've said it to me now. But they did lose earlier today. It was kind of a rough game for them. But they did pull back in the second half, did a lot stronger in the second half than I saw them in the first half. And it was good to see them kind of finally pick up some momentum. So let's go ahead and go down the rosters. First off, we've got the V-Town Derby Dames, and they're going to be skating in black. We've got number 10, Mia Love You Long Tie. Number 11, Talia. Number 116, Bone Crusher. 1308, Rambo. 18, Kaylor Swift. 240, Bergie Knights. Number 3, Dread. Number 316, Riveter Rosie. 357, Clock Cleaner. 36, Busty Chops. Number 5, Rita Villain. Number 55, Booma. Number 7, Lucky Eddie. Number 8, Bad Juju. And number 820, Just Abby.
And for Red Stick, we got 100 Original Sin, 228 Comet Kazi, 29 I'm a Pusher, 30 Stabby Cat, 36 Sailor Doom, 376 Hot Mess Molly, 411 Fun Size, 5 I Shove Lucy, 511 Machu Picchu, 69 to Napalm Death, 725 Sparkles Fantastic, who is on the jam line right now, 76 Little Miss Maggot, 777 Dominican Kids, 89 Princess Lay It Anya, and 903 Blasian Bayou. Now, Red Stick won their first game earlier today, like we said, against Wasatch Roller Derby out of Salt Lake City, 224 to 146. But they were comparably ranked teams. Wasatch was ranked 86, Red Stick is ranked 83, V-Town is ranked 61. So this should be a bit more of a challenge for the team from Baton Rouge.
And V-Town earlier played Dock City out of Gothenburg, Sweden. So that was a fun matchup, international, for us.
And both jammers are off. 1-1 Talia jamming for V-Town. Sparkles Fantastic 725. And he is your lead jammer on the front for Red Stick. Dashing around, pouring on the speed. Talia out of the pack and right behind her. Sparky skipping through the pack, calling it off in the middle of the pack, taking a hit from 10 Mia Love You Long Time. Picking up 3 points. Talia picking up 2.
That's a 4-2 jam.
4?
I think you're missing
losing
a finger there in the wood.
I mean,
pattern behind
lose a
the
finger
hands.
if one can help it. Apologies to everyone out there who's listening who is missing a finger. And number 89, Princess Lay It Anya, wearing the jammer star for Red Stick. Up against 240, Bergie Knights for V-Town. They are both off. Bergie Knights trying to come through on the outside. Princess trying to come through on the inside. Both of them on the inside now. Princess getting recycled back to the jam line. Bergie Knights getting mired up getting thrown to the ground actually by 511 Machu Picchu. Recycles her way past turn 4. Princess also getting recycled.
1308 Rambo doing a really nice job on the outside line for V-Town, making sure that she followed that block all the way through and forcing the recycle.
Oh, Princess just took a hit so hard that I felt it.
45 seconds into the jam, we finally have a lead jammer called. Lead jammer is called for V-Town and Bergie Knights.
But as soon as Princess got out, she poured on the speed, got around her, forced the call off. Red Stick still ahead, 4-2. And don't forget all your social media post hashtag Big O 2019. We'll be seeing them. I am refreshing the feed as we go. So if you give us a shout out in this game, I'll probably give you a shout out here on the stream. You got 411 Fun Size jamming for Red Stick up against 18 Kaylor Swift.
Kaylor Swift picking up lead for V-Town yet again. Starting off to Got a couple in a row.
Taylor Swift is a tiny powerhouse out there.
Very jukey jammer, able to get around the outside and just manage to find that half inch that she needs to be able to get all the way around the blocker to successfully start that pass.
Small but mighty is also usually Red Stick's forte. Of course, these first few jams are mostly the teams feeling each other out.
76, Little Miss Maggot taking a forearm penalty for that last final hit there.
Taylor Swift picking up 4 points. V-Town taking the lead. Little Miss Maggot fouled out in their game earlier today. 725 Sparkles Fantastic jamming now for Red Stick up against 316 Riveter Rosie for V-Town.
Red Stick doing a 3-jammer rotation, it looks like so far. V-Town introducing their 4th, and it does work out for them. That is Sparkles Fantastic, pick and bleed jammer for Red Stick.
Sparky is one of Red Stick's most accomplished jammers. She got at least 2 20-point jams in the game versus Wasatch earlier today.
River Rosie completing the initial pass there in turn number 3. That's going to force the call off from Red Stick. It's going to be a 4-0 jam in favor of Red Stick.
Yeah, Red Stick takes that lead again. I see Lloyd Knox on the side from Hit Squad TV videoing this bout.
Right now we've got going up to that line number 3, Dread, who didn't really jam for V-Town earlier today. Number 89, Princess Lay It Anya.
Princess Lay It Anya. Getting knocked back behind the jam line. And taking a hit from 1-0 Mia Love You Long Tie. It's very tenacious defense happening on the part of these V-Town blockers, but it's not enough to hold Princess back. She gets the lead position. But Dread is also out of the pack and picking up speed coming around. Princess dives into the pack, calls off the jam. It's like 1 point picked up by Red Stick.
It's been a couple of jams since V-Town has gotten any points. But they're starting to go back to their original jammer that we saw in jam number 1, number 11. That's going to be Talia. Talia had a great game earlier today.
4-1-1 Fun Size jamming for Red Stick. Fun Size had a great game earlier, picking up multiple 16 and 20-point jams, and is the lead now.
3 in a row for Red Stick. We're starting to see kind of some interesting back and forth between the leads. And with as many short jams that we've been seeing this tournament already, I think that ability to get out and get lead control the jam is obviously going to be incredibly important. V-Town's game earlier, we had 29 jams in the first half and only 8 of them being multi-scoring jams.
Fun Size has put up 4 points here, and Nibble Derby does seem to be the order of the day here. Each team just grabbing a little taste of points. Instead of running for the long points, but I think in a game that's this evenly matched, that's the key, is knowing when to go for the long points.
Penalty box clears out for a moment.
This huge blocking triangle of 7-6 Little Miss Maggot, 3-0 Stabby Cat, and 7-7-7 Dominic Can-Cans holding Talia back, just forcing her to grind along. But meanwhile, an almost identical triangle is holding Fun Size back up until 2-9 I'm a Pusher, or no, 6-9 Napalm Death helps to break it up. But Fun Size takes a big hit from number 7,
Lucky Eddie.
Yep. Forced to recycle almost all the way back to the jam line. And remember, everybody listening at home, whenever possible, always recycle your bottles, your cans, and your jammers. Keep Derby green.
Back block call on 777's Dominic
jam comes to an end. That's going to be an 8-point jam in favor of Red Stick, holding V-Town scoreless.
17-6 so far is the score.
One of the first longer jams that we've had so far.
It's gone the full 2 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there were only 6 jams in. 725 Sparkles Fantastic on the jam line for Red Stick.
And that is 240 Bergie Knights for V-Town.
These two have gone head-to-head earlier in this game. Let's see how it shakes out this time. Sparky attempting to come through on the inside, going through the middle on the outside. Bergie Knights trying the same. And Sparkles Fantastic, your lead jammer.
Bergie Knights headed to the penalty box. I missed the call there.
As did I. I was too busy watching Sparky loop around.
Yeah, so Sparkles with the power jam and lead.
And if I had to make a list of D3 skaters that I wouldn't want to give a power jam to in this tournament, Sparkles Fantastic would be number 1 with a bullet. Once she gets going, like once she gets a little speed under her, she just teleports through the pack.
She is finally able to get around number 36 from V-Town. That's Busty Chops, the captain.
Throwing 4 more up in the sky. This has been an 8-point jam for Sparkles thus far.
Bergie Knights standing in that penalty box, though, so not very much longer on the power jam.
Oh, she's ready to explode out of there.
But it does look like Sparkles Fantastic is going to continue to try to run this.
That's just it. You got to know when to go for the long ones, like we said.
Right about 20 seconds left in the jam.
And Sparky chooses to call it off. It's a 20-point jam for Sparkles Fantastic.
And it looks like we're got a official timeout coming in from the penalty box, as there was a bit of confusion as to number 240 Bergie Knights when she was actually supposed to leave the box. And it does also look like she is headed over to the medics right now to take a look at something on her hand. So we're very glad to have them here with us. Medics keeping us all patched up and able to stay on the track. Well, not me, but our skaters and our refs, because, you know.
Well, we always want our medics to be having a good time. But we never want them to be busy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it looked like Bergie just stayed in the box a lot longer than she was intended to. But for this next jam, 1-8 Kaylor Swift up to the line for V-Town.
Was a 20-point jam for Sparkles there in that last jam. Very effective. Highest scoring jam so far.
That was more than half of Red Stick's points thus far in this game. Although, okay. Now, Princess Leia Anya is wearing the Jammer Star for Red Stick for this next jam. I didn't see her at first with the star. I thought, did Red Stick forget to field one? But no, that was just me.
Kaylor Swift back here in the back in black for V-Town.
Back in black.
It looks like we are still in our official timeout as we have a little bit of discussion with the skating officials on the track. While we're doing that, let's tell you about Derby Warehouse. Visit derbywarehouse.com for all of your Derby gear needs with free shipping and returns.
Free returns? What? Who does that nowadays?
Yeah, that is cool to hear.
That is really cool.
It's called good customer service.
I am into it.
We appreciate these things.
You're so into it.
It does look like we are doing a little bit of biohazard cleanup on the track, which is why we might be taking a few moments.
Yeah, I definitely see some blood over there. So let's definitely take the time to sanitize our workspace here.
In the meantime, do we want to go through our officials list?
We absolutely do. We've got Lauren Erder,
Jersey,
Dylan,
Coca-Cola,
Wookie Mistake,
Ninja,
Spike,
Heads Will Roll,
Toad,
Masquerade,
Goram Browncoat,
Sister Violence,
Snapdragon,
Queen of Catitude,
Snarkamedes. Oh, I love that.
and Adam Slasher.
Smasher.
Oh, Smasher. Yep, that's an M, not an L.
Would be weird for it to be an Adam Slasher. But it's all good. It's all good. Hey, and don't forget to hashtag all your stuff Big O 2019. We're refreshing the Twitter feed over here. So please entertain us with your gifts and cat pics and by telling us how much you're enjoying this game.
What I'm seeing right now is a sloth.
With sunglasses.
Very, very, very slow sunglasses.
Kind of like this timeout.
Yeah, well, we have to skate. So one of the big things with biohazard cleanup, not only do you have to clean up the track, you have to have all of the skaters check their wheels, because if they rolled through anything, then they have to clean their wheels so that we don't then spread things even further. We have to check gear. We have to make sure you walk the entire track and make sure that we think the containment is sufficient.
Like, I realized that in retrospect that it sounded like I was complaining about the officials doing their jobs. I absolutely would never complain about the officials doing their jobs, because hell yes, officials, thank you for doing all your stuff. All of you guys who are officials at home, you guys are winners. And speaking of winners, we're getting back into it. Once again, that's Kaylor Swift versus Princess laying on you with the Jammer Stars. Kaylor Swift gets out front, grabs lead position. Princess comes through on the inside, and it completes her initial. Kaylor Swift getting recycled by 100 Original Sin, and 511 Machu Picchu calls off the jam. Looks like 1 point for V-Town, no points for Red Stick.
37-7 with 19 minutes and 30 seconds left in this first period, going into jam number 9. Penalty box is clear. We have all 80 wheels on the track.
316 Riveter Rosie with the Jammer Star for V-Town.
Going up against 411 Fun Sized.
Fun Size.
Both jammers right up at the front of that pack, but it is going to be Fun Size called lead jammer first. Held up for just a moment, but then is back off to the races, trying to pick up those points very quickly.
Fun Size is tiny, but she is mighty.
Riveter Rosie making her way, completing that initial pass, and is going to force the call off. 3 points to Red Stick All-Stars.
Red Stick maintaining their lead 40-7 in this game. 725 Sparkles Fantastic up to the line with number 3 Dread. Dread in the black for V-Town, Sparky in the red for Red Stick.
There's a lot of movement by a couple of the blockers there on the inside line, trying to make sure that they had that covered. So both jammers decided to go right through the middle instead. That works out really well for Sparkles Fantastic. Dread, meanwhile, is having to recycle back halfway through the front straightaway.
Yeah, great hit by Machu Picchu, number 511. Hold her back, along with work from 7-6 Little Miss Maggot.
Both of these teams typically trying to do a 3-1 with a little bit of offensive blocking when they can. Ooh, Dread picking up a forearm penalty. That's going to be a power jam for Red Stick and Sparkles Fantastic.
Oh.
It's going to be another one that Sparkles is going to see what she can get out of it.
And B-Town currently down a blocker.
Make that 2 as number 55, Booma, joins that penalty box.
1308 Rambo coming out of the box. Sparky blasting through for 4.
Dread standing ready and now starting to head back onto the track.
Red Stick with the call of hot jammer to let their teammates on the track know that Dread was about to re-enter. Sparky putting up another 4. This is 12 points for her so far. And Dread completing her initial. Sparky chooses to call it off. 16 points picked up on that jam.
So we had a little bit of a back and forth there right at the beginning with the score. V-Town getting up to 6 points in jam number 3. They went 4 jams in a row being held scoreless, picked up 1 point in jam number 8, and then have not scored any points in the last 2 jams. You're really starting to see Red Stick pick it up, pull away with the lead. And again, it's those lead percentages. They've had, of our 10 jams and now 11 so far, only 3 of those they didn't pick up lead.
Yeah, they have been just incredible in holding back the opposing jammers. We talk about I talk about all the time how fast and agile Red Stick's jammers are, but their blockers are massively tenacious and tough. And everybody in Red Stick practices every position.
Right now we've got Fun Size going up against Bergie Knights. Bergie Knights in the back in black. Excuse me, up front now. Fun Size in the back going up against that's number 7, Lucky Eddie.
It looked like Bergie almost broke through, but then got recycled all the way back to the jam line by 7-6 Little Miss Maggot.
All of Red Stick doing a really good job to make sure that they got all the way back and doing a full 40 feet drawback, taking to the very end of that engagement zone so that they don't give any opportunity to come through very quickly.
Oh, number 7, Lucky Eddie, putting a nice hit on on Fun Size rather, forcing her back.
And that is going to be a track cut penalty on Fun Size. And then
both jammers off to the box.
And I missed what Bergie Knight's penalty was, but so it's going to be a full 2-minute jam. We have 53 seconds left.
Both jammers circling around to re-enter. Fun gets in first.
It seems like both blocking lines kind of finally starting to settle in, both teams settling in, finding their pace, their rhythm, their ability to recycle back through people, really keep that rotation moving. You can see it right now with Red Stick doing a really good job of just always trying to keep somebody in front of her, and it wasn't until she finally got around number 69, Death, to be able to actually release anybody.
Yeah, the Napalm Death absolutely relentless as a blocker, rather. And Fun Size coming around, and finally the jam comes to its end. 3 points picked up at the end by Red Stick, 4 points by V-Town.
Full 2-minute jam, and we only got 7 points out of the whole thing.
It is incredible. Red Stick had one of our home team's games last weekend, and we had multiple full 2-minute jams with no scoring, and that never happens.
That's so much time to keep a jammer at bay.
We had team timeout being called by Red Stick.
Make sure you grab your tickets for the International WFTDA playoffs and championships. They will go on sale June 17th of 2019. Mark your calendars right now. Pull out your phone, pull out your app, whatever it is that you use. Go find your calendar and your highlighter and all the fun, pretty colors and stickers that go with it, because it's June 17th, 2019 is when they go on sale, and you can get your tickets at WFTDA.com/tickets.
That's right. You're watching a live stream, you can multitask.
we're in a timeout. You're not even missing anything if you do it right now.
That's right.
Right
That's
now.
right. Just keep listening to us. We'll let you know when you need to come back. It's cool, man.
Well, 5 seconds. Officials just told us 5 seconds.
Hashtag no excuses. 725 Sparkles fantastic with the star for Red Stick. Kaylor Swift, number 18 with the star for V-Town.
Fun size up front, going chest to chest with a V-Town blocker, picks up lead jammer and is finally able to juke around. Kaylor Swift struggling on that inside line, kind of bouncing in and out a couple of times. Now right in the middle of a scrum pack as there's not a whole lot of formation on either side.
Sparky dances and dives around blockers, pick up 4 points. The Sparky is one of those utility skaters where she blocks, she pivots, she jams, and sometimes when she jams like a blocker, where she just can systematically pick a pack apart to get them out of her way. And she takes a hit, goes to her knees, calls it off, picking up another 3 points. 66-11 in favor of Baton Rouge. And now in the jam line for V-Town, 316 River to Rosie. For Red Stick, 89 Princess Lay It On Ya.
Both jammers engaged with that pack right there at the back. We do have Princess moving up to the front to engage with the V-Town Derby Dames wall. River to Rosie in the back, kind of stuck in that sad place there for a minute and tried to do a rollover that's number 100 and not able to.
In the sad place. The Eeyore zone.
Number 55, Boomia, called on a penalty and headed to that penalty box.
It's really more of a penalty bench.
It is more of a penalty bench.
I kind of like that it's a bench, actually. And Princess gets the lead.
Princess able to find an opening on that outside line with a quick little juke and able to get around her own blockers. 4 points for Red Stick. Meanwhile, River to Rosie really kind of struggling there with that blocking wall of Red Stick. I believe that's 5. I shove Lucy.
Yeah, Shove is absolutely just ruthless as a jammer. 4 more points picked up by Princess Lay It On Ya on her last scoring trip.
Penalty box clears out for a moment.
We like an empty penalty box, but of course, now that we've talked about it, someone's going to the box because announcer curse. It's real.
Out of play called on the Red Stick blockers, forcing the V-Town jammer to be released. 4 points on that last pass for Red Stick, 12 points on the jam. 11-77, 9 minutes and 35-ish seconds left in the first half, going into jam number 15.
This is turning into a bit of a monstrous game for Red Stick. V-Town ranked 22 places higher, but also from all the way across the country. So sometimes relative ranking is hard to really rate. We've got Dread on the jam line for V-Town. Fun size jamming for Red Stick. It looks like Dread is off to the box. This is another power jam for Red Stick. And this is what's doing the most damage to V-Town right now is their skaters going to the box again and again. Or their jammers, rather. Fun size achieves the lead position.
And we talk about that. We've had in the last few jams, since jam number 7, we've had 3 large jams that were over, they were double-digit jams. We had a 20-point jam in jam number 7, 16-point jam in jam number 10, and a 12-point in that last jam. And that is a very large chunk of the score differential that we have right now are these 3 really big scoring jams where there were jammer penalties from the opposing team, and that then came as high-scoring jams for Red Stick. That being said, Dread sitting back in that penalty box, taking another one.
That'll kill your score every time, is being able to get it. And we've got another one of the V-Town blockers joining Dread, which means a weaker defense for the California team. Oh, fun size, beautiful agility there, staying on one foot, absorbing a hit, picking up that 4 points.
That was Mia Love You Long Tie with that final hit. That was so pretty.
She's been a monstrous jammer today. Or blocker, rather, not jammer. What am I saying?
Yeah, she's had a couple of really good hits. And one thing that I see with her that she's really good at is she follows all the way to the end of the engagement zone. She doesn't let them get only 5 or 10 feet and give up on the hit. She follows it all the way through, continues to push for that last minute hit because, you can still draw them back up until 20 feet.
That's that tenacity that you need in a good blocker. It's like being able to just push to the edge of what's legal and take every inch of advantage that you can. 725 Sparkles Fantastic jamming now for Red Stick. The 1-1 Talia with the star for V-Town.
Sparkles Fantastic having 2 really long drawbacks back to back, but a penalty on a V-Town blocker actually going to allow Sparkles Fantastic to get through as both blockers were distracted by that whistle. So Sparkles Fantastic is picking up the lead and barely even being touched as there's not enough blockers on the track for V-Town really to be able to hold her back at all.
There are only 2 V-Town blockers right now. The other 2 are cooling their heels in the box. Sparky chooses to call off the jam rather than allow V-Town a chance to score. But again, that's 8 points for Red Stick. And it's taking those bites of points and calling it when they don't have that power jam advantage. It's proving to be a winning strategy for Baton Rouge. 240 Bergie Knights up to the line now for Red Stick with 8-9 Princess Lay it, or sorry, for V-Town rather, with Princess Lay It On You for Red Stick.
2-4 pack advantage for Red Stick. It's going to make it really easy for Princess to pick up lead jammer.
Bergie Knights is just trying to claw her way through.
The penalty box empties out. And we are going to have a star pass for V-Town. And that's going to be to number 18, Kaylor Swift. Kaylor Swift sprinting, trying to get back to the pack, forcing the call off, but it is going to be all 4 points for Red Stick.
And we've got under 5 minutes left in our half here. So we got time for a couple more jams. 411 Fun Size up to the jam line now with 316 Riveter Rosie. I love that name.
Almost at the century mark for Red Stick. The whistle blows and the jam starts. Riveter Rosie, the whole pack actually moving to the inside half of the track. Number 76. That's Little Miss Maggot just kind of hanging out on the outside going, anybody? Anybody? And so finally, we're just kind of like the whole pack's going from side to side.
It's more like Maggot saying, hey, who wants some?
And that's going to go in favor of V-Town. Riveter Rosie picking up lead jammer for the first time since jam number 8.
Wow.
Ouch. That hurts just a little bit.
Absolutely.
Riveter Rosie having come back around and picked up 3 points for V-Town, breaking that scoreless streak.
All right, good job. Not a fan of streaks over here. Yeah, 725 Sparkles Fantastic rolling up to the jam line with number 3 Dread. Sparky in the red, Dread in the black. And this game is brought to you by Stakes Contact Wear. Put some stakes between you and your opponent. Check out stakeswear.com. And Sparky gets out front, grabs the lead position. Dread battling her way through on the outside, on the inside, taking a spill, but refuses to quit.
And there was no drawback there, so she was able to pop right back up, come right back onto the track. She had already passed everyone who was behind her, finishing the initial, forcing the call off. A full 4 for Red Stick.
All right, Red Stick crossing that 100-point threshold as we go into our last jams of the half. 8-9 Princess Lay It On Ya with the star for Red Stick. 1-1 Talia jamming for V-Town.
I gotta admit, I've got to call other games so far today and this afternoon. This is probably one of the most disciplined I've ever seen them play.
Not really a pivot line start, but not really a jam line start either, as everybody just kind of huddled in the middle between the two in no man's land.
Princess getting almost forced into our head ref out there.
Talia, meanwhile, just kind of hanging out in the middle of the track, trying to juke back and forth, see if she can get anything to open up. V-Town losing a blocker to the penalty box.
That is number 7, Lucky Eddie, who's been a highly effective blocker in this game.
Drawback to turn number 1 on Princess. And Talia just sitting there grinding, trying to find any opening, any space there in between the Red Stick blockers and not finding any opening. So that's going to be Princess getting lead jammer for Red Stick once again.
You're right, man. Talia just looking for some air here. Just trying to get out of that quagmire of blocker bodies.
That is going to be Sailor Doom, though, being lost to the penalty box for Red Stick with a forearm penalty there.
Number 7, Lucky Eddie, is out of the box and attempting to tear apart the Red Stick formation, pushing out one blocker at a time, trying to keep them from being able to reform, and it works. Talia gets through. That's some really good offensive blocking. But Princess dives into the pack, calls it off. 3 points in the air for Red Stick. We got just 30-ish seconds left in our half here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I should Lucy do a good job of trying to make sure those points work in.
4-1-1 Fun Size up to the jam line for Red Stick. 2-4-0 Bergie Knights jamming for V-Town.
Finding their own, and their confidence keeps building.
3-4 pack advantage to V-Town. Bergie Knight's going to try to find some space behind her blocker, but Fun Size able to take the same path and really take advantage of V-Town not able to close that door. Fun Size lead jammer for Red Stick.
Fun Size trying to come in low, looking to do a little bit of shake move.
I think Fun Size has had almost a 100% lead completion.
Mia Love You long time, though, with a huge hit. Just
That was brutal.
that was brutal. I think Fun Size flew and was airborne
Like,
for a second or so.
that was such a hard hit that the floor is going to have bruises. And number 7-6 Little Miss Maggot off to the penalty box. 4 points in the sky for Bergie Knights.
Busty Chops and Rita Villain there at the back for V-Town, really causing some headache. It's going to be no points for V-Town and 3 for Red Stick. 4 points on the jam. So it's going to be 18-113 as we head into intermission.
It's intermission. Come have a snack, relax.
You should do those things because we're going to be back just
Right.
in like 9 minutes and, a few seconds.
Yeah, we definitely could use some coffee over here. That's for sure.
I have some.
It's 11 o'clock our time back home, so this is a little late even on a Friday night for us. But we're here for it, and we are having a great time up here. Thank you guys all for joining us over here. We're going to take a little break, and then we'll be right back. My name is Hazenberg.
And I am RPG.
You sure are. We'll see you soon. Welcome back to Track 2 here in Big O 2019. My name is Hazenberg.
And I am RPG, and we have a few stats for you here coming back into the second half. So, highest scoring jammer for V-Town is going to be Bergie Knights. Bergie Knights also in the most jams for V-Town, so the percentage there for scoring being a little bit more expected. But Sparkle's Fantastic has been fantastic for Red Stick. 100% lead jam ratio, highest scoring jammer, and that lead percentage is a big reason why we are seeing the score differential that we are at sitting, 113 versus 118. That's not a small point differential going into the half.
No, indeed.
And that's because V-Town's only been able to pull out 5 leads of the 21 jams that we had in the first half.
Yeah, it has absolutely been brutal, utterly dominant during this first half. Let's see if now that V-Town has had a chance to rest and to get their strategery together, let's see if they can pull it out. And we've got just a few seconds left in our halftime break here. Skaters are moving out to their benches and to their starting positions. And it looks like we're going to start with 725 Sparkle's Fantastic jamming for Red Stick here. Sparky, who, as you mentioned before, has that 100% lead jammer rate, which is up against 1-1 Talia from V-Town.
Sparkle's Fantastic being the same person who started the first half for Red Stick.
Yes.
And same with Talia. It seems like we're starting with the same jammer rotation that we started with in the first half. Red Stick staying with a very tight 3 jammer rotation, whereas V-Town kind of shaking it up a little bit more. Looking like they had 4, maybe 5 jammers that rotated through between them. But Talia taking a quick lead for V-Town.
And it is, as we mentioned, the first time Sparkles has not gotten lead. Now, Red Stick, in my experience with them, has traditionally been a second half team. So we'll see how this really goes. Talia putting up 4 points. Sparky's still on her first scoring trip. And Talia calling it off with Sparky in the middle of the pack. Looks like no points for Red Stick. Red Stick actually shut out of this one. 8 points for V-Town.
Talia with really good track awareness, realizing that her blockers had all gotten up to the front of that pack, managing to pick up all 4 points before calling it off, even though Sparkle's Fantastic was right behind her.
And 8-9, Princess Leia Anya up to the jam line now for Red Stick with 2-4-0 Bergie Knights carrying the star for V-Town. Bergie Knights gets out and gets the lead. This is lead twice in a row for V-Town.
Meanwhile, we have a rotating door on that penalty box. Seem to have had a blocker sitting in it pretty much since we started the half. V-Town going to call off the jam 4 points.
V-Town have almost doubled their score so far in this game. 1-8 Kaylor Swift up to the jam line for V-Town. 4-1-1 Fun Size wearing the star for Red Stick. Really hope that first half didn't go to Red Stick's heads there, because if that happens, they're going to start falling apart. And Kaylor Swift, lead jammer. Wow, V-Town is really bringing it home now.
Little Miss Maggot trying to give a whip to her jammer. Fun Size, seeing if she can get her out and complete the initial pass, but it does not work quite as intended, I think. That allows Kaylor Swift to take time and get all the way through the pack. Star pass.
I believe this is our first star pass of this game.
Second. We had one other star pass earlier.
Was it with V-Town?
I don't remember. I have it somewhere.
But it was passed to 7-6 Little Miss Maggot. But the jam came to its end before she had a chance to call it. We got team timeout being called by Red Stick now.
Yeah, going from having only 5 leads going to V-Town in the entire first half and starting off with 3-0 as far as leads go is a little bit of a shakeup there. So as we're taking a little break for our timeout here, let's tell you about Rydell. Experience world-class edging with the Radar Halo, available in a full range of hardnesses from 84A all the way up to 103A. There is a Halo for everyone.
Looks like we're coming back in and out of our timeout. 725 Sparkles Fantastic carrying the star for Red Stick.
And that's 316 Riveter Rosie for V-Town. But just as we were coming out of that,
of course,
everybody a little bit too excited. That was just the swoopy whistle to bring us back into actually regulation time. That was our actual jam start. So Sparkles Fantastic up front with 1 left to beat in the apex. And she does do it, picking up lead jammer for the Red Stick All-Stars.
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. And like you said, Sparky's got the lead. She takes a hit, does not crumble to the floor.
Meanwhile, Riveter Rosie at the back fighting hard, pushing up against a couple of different Red Stick blockers.
Sparky busts through, 4 points in the air. Riveter Rosie looks like is stashing the star in her hand right now.
Dene Palm Death, and I think that's 511 Machu Picchu and number 100 Original Sin, all doing a great job keeping Riveter Rosie at bay, just not giving her any room to work with. But it is going to be a star pass to Lucky Eddie for V-Town that has completed. Sparkles Fantastic still scoring points. Meanwhile, 8 so far on this jam. And that's going to be another 4.
Gonna be another 4. None of you guys paid for the stream to hear me sing. I'm sorry. I know I said that in Red Stick's first game.
Oh, and he track cut now. Don't get some Lucky Eddie.
Track cut on Lucky Eddie.
And dropping the star on the way to the penalty box, and that's going to put her out of the game for an extra few very precious seconds as the jammer. Jam comes to an end, 16 points for Red Stick in that last jam.
That was a 16-point jam for Red Stick on that one. 19 points. Oh. I always speak too soon on that one, don't I?
Okay, those were added a little bit late, though.
A little bit.
A little bit of a discussion trying to make sure how many we were adding for that last pass.
Princess Leia and Anya bearing the star for Red Stick.
And Lucky Eddie is still in the penalty box for V-Town. So Princess Leia and Anya obviously going to pick up lead jammer, taking advantage of that very, very quickly. 3-4 pack advantage to V-Town right now as Lucky Eddie, taking the star in hand, is coming out of the penalty box. Star pass to number 18, Kaylor Swift for V-Town. Seems a very planned move on the...
Absolutely.
Ooh, Kaylor Swift just able to get around Machu Picchu.
She is a rocket. Oh, look at that beautiful apex jump from Kaylor Swift right into the back. She slices through. 4 points. 4 big points for Kaylor Swift. Princess, I'm not sure if she called it off or that came to its full 2 minutes. But Red Stick picked up 8. V-Town picked up 4 on that jam. Red Stick still ahead by over 100 points. And we line up for 411 Fun Size with the star for Red Stick. Number 3, Dread, carrying the star for V-Town.
Fun Size trying to get in that middle of the V-Town wall, but ends up finding space on the outside just for a moment. But Dread pushing up front, doing a no pass, no penalty, will not pick up lead, but is able to start scoring points. It looks like she actually went down and did not pass one of the blockers there.
The Dreads passed everybody now, picked up 4 points on that first scoring trip.
Red Stick going back to play some offense, and that is able to free Fun Size. So Dread going to call off the jam.
No, Fun called off the jam.
Fun called off the jam, excuse me. But Dread was able to pick up 2 points before Fun Size called off the jam.
All right, we might have a game here. V-Town really starting to push up some of these points. 725 Sparkles Fantastic up on the jam line with 1-1 Talia now. Jam numero 7 here on the track. Sparkles.
Go ahead.
No, Sparkles is through to grab lead. And B-Town's pivot number 3-6. Busty Chops off to the box. And a forearm penalty assist to 725 Sparkles Fantastic. Oh, but Talia also going to the box.
High block for Talia.
They basically had just enough time to say hi to each other. Like, hey, buddy, how you doing? Let's go play.
Minute and 5 left in the jam with no lead jammer.
Sparky with those mean jukes into the V-Town box, or V-Town pack, rather.
Talia trying to take advantage of Busty Chops, giving a little bit of offensive assist there, but not able to find any openings. Sparkles Fantastic picking up 4 points in the meantime.
Sparky dances around those blockers, putting up another 4. Oh, Talia is getting shoved around, takes a stumble, but does not crumble, completing her initial. Oh, I'm so excited right now. Oh, Talia blasts through the pack, putting up 4 points.
Red Stick did not look like they were ready for Talia at all. They were all spread out all over the place, not really getting together, and instead trying to take Talia on one-on-one. That meant 5 points for Talia.
Yeah, and when that defense starts to fragment, that's when your pack starts to get weak.
Princess Leia, Anya, and Bergie Knights going up against each other wearing their respective stars. Bergie Knights up front with one blocker up, trying to give an offensive assist, and it is successful for Bergie Knights, picking up lead jammer there for V-Town in turn number 2.
Princess with the star in her hand, just looking for some air here. Bergie Knights throwing up 4 in the air.
she was able finally to push those last two blockers all the way to the end of the engagement zone, and I think even drawing a penalty there on Doom for an out-of-play block. Number 7, Lucky Eddie, being called on a multiplayer.
Oh, that's a brutal hit from 100 Original Sin onto Bergie Knights, and it looks like it forced Bergie into a penalty.
Low block being called on Bergie Knights.
That looked painful.
That did look painful, but Bergie Knights got to find a way to fall a little bit smaller than that to make sure not to draw that low block. 4 points for Princess, completing that first scoring pass.
Princess dives and dances around the blockers, putting up 4.
That was Bone Crusher, that last final blocker to beat. Doing a great job trying to stay chest to chest with Princess.
Coincidentally, Bone Crusher is the name of one of my favorite Transformers. Do you have a favorite Transformer RPG?
I don't know. I don't really know Transformers. I have a good friend of mine that has a whole mantle full of them.
Only a mantle?
And a few bookcases and some tubs up in a closet and, a small collection that's worth a near fortune. And he'd be very sad if he knew that I didn't have a favorite Transformer. He would feel like his education for me was incomplete.
Probably know your friend. We'll talk about it later. Right now we got 411 Fun Size up to the jam line with 316 Riveter Rosie. Looks like, track cut penalty assist to Riveter Rosie, which means it's a power jam for Red Stick. Fun Size has not yet completed their initial.
Jam opportunity. Trying to now go with a quick sweep out. D-Town just corralled around.
Oh, Fun Size taking a hard hit from, it's like 1-8 Kaylor Swift. Or it might have been 116 Bone Crusher, actually. No, it was Kaylor Swift. But Fun is finally through with a little apex hop, gets the lead.
That being said, we did take almost 45 seconds off the clock to get lead.
And 4 in the sky for Red Stick. Riveter Rosie out of the box and just taking no prisoners on her way through.
Wow. Just like not gonna have anyone in her way.
Wow. Forcing the call off from Red Stick. 4 points for Red Stick. No points for V-Town. 15 minutes left in our game. We are 3/4 of the way through. 725 Sparkles Fantastic rolling up to the line with number 3 Dread. It looks like that was one more point picked up by Red Stick at the end of that last jam. And the whistle blows and off they goes.
Sparkles Fantastic almost through and is picked up lead, but she got knocked down and drawn back. That means Dread's going to be able to get out and is skating hard, forcing that call off. Knows she's not going to make it back to the back of the pack, but that's okay. 0-0 jam for jam number 10.
Yeah, Sparky was looking to her bench and to her captain 100 Original Sin to see what to do, like whether to just go ahead and run it or call it. And ultimately, the call was to call. 1-1 Talia with the star now for V-Town. 8-9 Princess Leia and Anya jamming for Red Stick.
Talia trying to get around Original Sin, but Original Sin not having any of that, closing that inside line.
Number 5, I Shove Lucy being sent off to the penalty bench.
The sad place.
The sad place.
That was beautiful. Number 820 from V-Town, managing to rotate her hips and just deliver Princess Leidania onto the inside line. It doesn't stop her for long, but that's everything every defensive coach tells you to do, which is just to take your hip, pick up said jammer, deliver them to the inside line.
Take them to the sad place.
That was that perfect, like, clinical moment that you want to see happen every single time was that moment.
Absolutely. Princess chose to call off that last jam. 4 points for Red Stick, 2 points for V-Town. 4-1-1 fun size up to the jam line for Red Stick. 2-4-0 Bergie Knights bearing the star for V-Town. And Bergie Knights gets out to get that lead. Some great momentum happening now from the V-Town pack. But they are forced to let Fun Size go. She picks up a no pass, no penalty on her way through.
Three-four pack advantage for the moment for Red Stick. Fun Size ended up on the ground kind of painfully, it looked like there. And that's going to be a track cut penalty on Fun Size. Bergie Knights with lead on the power jam for V-Town.
This is exactly the kind of opportunity that V-Town needed.
V-Town trying to play some passive offense, forcing Red Stick to bridge, but then they are going to try to do a rush and a little bit of a waterfall, but Bergie Knights kind of gets caught up going chest to chest with number 76. That's Little Miss Maggot right there at the end. Is able to complete the pass before the end of the jam. 2 points to Red Stick, 3 points to the V-Town Derby Dames.
And this is going to be a power start for V-Town. They're putting Kaylor Swift number 1-8 up to the jam line for their first go here.
It was a very rare jammer penalty that we've seen for Red Stick. Not very many of them, whereas V-Town's had quite a few now. Kaylor Swift trying to push hard, juking really far, moving all the way across the track. Picks up lead for V-Town, 2 in a row. Fun Size on the track with the helmet cover in hand.
And her pivot, 7-6 Little Miss Maggot, is off to the penalty box, but Fun has completed her initial. Kaylor gets through, puts 4 points up, calls off the jam before Fun gets a chance to score. Great work on the part of Kaylor Swift right there. 3-1-6 Rosie Riveter stepping up to the line for V-Town. 8-9 Princess Lay It On Ya with the star for Red Stick.
Pack rolling back to meet the blockers. I don't even know where V-Town's blockers were. Actually, I do know where they were. They were all on the outside half of the track, wide open for Princess. Picks up lead jammer. Riveter Rosie completes the initial 2-4 pack advantage right now for V-Town. Princess deciding not to call it off there and actually run this long. Riveter Rosie being drawn back almost to the jam line, going up against the 3-wall from Red Stick.
At this point, Red Stick are ahead by 111 points with 10 minutes left in the game. I think they can afford to run this one out.
That being said, when you're talking about this kind of rankings differential, every single point matters, though. So it's interesting that they choose to run this long, but that does end up paying off for them. Track cut on Riveter Rosie and V-Town. So Princess gonna be able to continue to earn some points there.
Rosie had also picked up 4 on her initial scoring trip.
So there might be some pocket points there for Riveter Rosie.
4 more in the sky for Princess and her blockers.
V-Town's Jammer, Riveter Rosie standing in the penalty box. They are going to continue this. 18 seconds left in the jam. Riveter with a big burst of speed coming through. Jam called off. 8 points for V-Town, 11 for Red Stick.
Just 8 minutes left in our game. Hit This Derby Gear has everything you need to get rolling, from skates to protective gear and unmatched service for all your derby needs. Before you hit the track, hit this. And yes, hit this. I'm available to do your commercials.
We've got Fun Size going up against Dread.
Oh, these two have gone head-to-head so many times tonight. Dread pushing out toward the front. Fun Size looking for the opening in the back. And they're forced to let Dread go. She obtains that lead position.
30 seconds into the jam at this point. Each team losing a blocker to our penalty box. Dread up front going up against number 69, Danae Palm Death, and is able to complete 4-point pass. Fun Size completing her initial.
Got a fast pack happening here. Dread coming around, impacting the blockers. 1-0 Mia Love You Long Tie helping her out there. But ultimately, Dread forced to call it off. 2 points picked up by Red Stick, 4 points by V-Town.
Dread just not quite able to call off that jam fast enough.
725 Sparkles Fantastic with the star now for Red Stick. 1-1 Talia jamming for V-Town. Sparky comes through on the outside. Talia goes through on the inside. Sparky gets out front first. Sparky, your lead jammer. And a track cut penalty issued to Talia, making this a power jam for Red Stick. Oh, and an in-sub.
An in-sub. You can't cut those corners. You have to immediately get off the track. And that's the second time I think that we've seen V-Town kind of cut that corner, and Dylan not going to let it slide this time.
And giving a whole minute to Sparkles Fantastic to score with impunity is one of the worst things you can do as a jammer.
Yeah, Talia clearly coming all the way through the apex before removing
brutal
from
hit
the track.
On Sparky. Ouch. Number 7, Lucky Eddie, delivering that hard blow to Sparky earlier. And Sparky fighting hard against this defense. V-Town really blocking aggressively. Try to break up this pack and force it along. Trying to burn up the clock so Talia can get back on the track. But she is on her way back in now. But Sparky's picked up 12 points and pushed Red Stick over the 200th point threshold.
Talia, very, very fast jammer, able to get out and get around those Red Stick blockers. They were trying to do the long drawback and weren't quite able to form up before Talia could kind of start dancing around. They never really got set and got formed. So Talia got a late hit there, and that's going to be on 5'11". Manchu beat you, and that is going to be an out-of-play hit. So that she was allowed to come back onto the track and continue playing. 16 points on that jam for Red Stick.
V-Town calling a timeout.
It's what a minute-long power jam looks like sometimes.
Yeah.
No.
It looks brutal. Our social media team here is working all weekend to bring you live tweets and Facebook coverage throughout the event. Supplement the awesome live stream. Hey, this thing called us awesome. We're pretty cool, RPG.
Hey.
I'm all right, but you're totally right.
Hey. I don't know. You're pretty cool too, dude.
I do all right for myself. But also check out KLCC 89.7. It's NPR for Oregonians. So that's, I guess, if you're in Oregon, listen to that. I mean, they also have a live stream on their website. Most of your modern radio stations do. So if that's your favorite station, you can listen to it worldwide and just pull it up on your phone.
The two teams are starting to line back up. We've got 3:55 left in period number 2, going into jam number 17. 2-4 pack advantage going to V-Town right now, who's going to send out Bergie Knights going up against Prinza Leadanya.
And Princess mired up on the jam line. Bergie Knights escapes to get that lead.
Yeah, I was going to say, and there's difference right here. Bergie Knights has been a real difference maker here in the second half. Absolutely, yes. Killing it on getting lead. Not just getting lead, but right there.
And Bergie Knights slipping right on through, earning those 4 points for her team. V-Town blockers working overtime here.
Princess Leadanya called on a low block penalty. So it's going to be Bergie Knights with the power jam and the lead. Very offensive blocking coming in from V-Town. Just kind of really doing some positional blocking, trying to make sure that the Red Stick can't make that wall. It is successful. 4 points for V-Town. 12 points already to Bergie Knights. V-Town going to go ahead and call that off and take the power start. 15 points total for V-Town and Bergie Knights.
And looks like referee Ninja was tending to number 5, iShove Lucy. Looks like Shove is skating off the track. I hope she wasn't hurt.
If you're in New York City a week from today, I will be performing at St. Bartholomew's Church.
I got an team time. Looks like official review actually being called. I'm not sure whose official review that is.
Right now, what's looking like on our scoreboard is a Red Stick timeout, but it is just now changed into an official review. So make sure you go onto your social media. Hashtag BigO2019. All of the forms of the social medias, because we want to see all of the pictures of your faces here inside the venue and watching with your whatever setup you are watching our Big O stream with. Lots of forms that could take.
And please don't tag them Big O 2016 like I accidentally did earlier today.
2019.
Because to be fair, my blood sugar was a little low on that one. I hadn't had lunch.
Yeah, that's also just not paying attention a whole lot and going down one row.
Just why you got to call me out like that?
I mean, it's a thing. So we're waiting right now. We are having some discussion about what that is.
And we got under 3 minutes left in our game here. And it looks like we're coming back in out of our review. Red Stick did not retain their review, it looks like. So we're getting back into it. 1-8 Kaylor Swift. 8-9 Princess Leadanya.
Returning to the track from the penalty box. Kaylor Swift taking a big hit, going down. Taking her just a second to be able to stand back up, and that is going to give Princess Leadanya time to get back onto the track and re-engage with that pack.
Princess attempting to grind through on the inside. Kaylor Swift the same. Kaylor Swift, your lead jammer. 7-6 Little Miss Maggot off to the box on a forearm penalty again. Kaylor Swift busts through 4 points. shooting up into the sky like fireworks. Kaboom. And then getting recycled.
Princess going chest to chest with Riveter Rosie, and that's 116 Bone Crusher from V-Town up front. Bone Crusher is going to take a penalty. Oops, excuse me. That's actually Riveter Rosie taking a penalty.
Taylor Swift calls it off. All right, V-Town finally surpassing the 100-point threshold. 100 to 205 in favor of Red Stick. 1 minute, 20 seconds left in the game. So this is Red Stick's win, but like you said earlier, with this differential in the rankings, every single point counts. And so we are going to go all the way through. Number 3, Dread, and number 725, Sparkles Fantastic, both wearing the Jammer Stars. Sparky attempting to come through on the outside. Dread trying to come right up the middle. Both of them just locked down in this unmovable sea of blocker bodies. So we get a really big collapse. And Sparkles Fantastic gets lead, but Dread right behind her.
And catching up very quickly. Sparkles Fantastic not choosing to call it off. Dread taking a back block penalty there at the end. So Sparkles Fantastic, honestly, that was a smart choice not to call that off. 4 points for Red Stick, and they're going to get 30 seconds of uncontested scoring.
And this is the final jam of the game, final jam of the night here on track 2. Period clock is over. Less than a minute left on the jam clock. Sparky grinding hard against these blockers. Are forced to let her go as she stretches out the pack. 4 points in the air for Red Stick.
Red Stick very excited over on the bench about their win, getting very loud, starting to cheer on Sparkles.
And Sparky gets through again for another 4.
We pull out a little splash of gas.
Dread back on the track and fighting hard against Red Stick, is able to break through there in the back straightaway. I guess that's your front straightaway from the camera. Jam comes to a conclusion. 4 points for V-Town, 16 points for Red Stick there in that last jam. Our unofficial score is 221 for Red Stick and 104 to V-Town. Was a really good game.
Wow. Yeah, no, it was fantastic. Of course, I, as Red Stick's home announcer, always do like to see them win, but I also like to see them challenge. And I think especially in this second half, V-Town brought that.
V-Town really kind of kicked it off very strong, had a little bit of slump there in the middle, and definitely decided to kick it right back up there at the end, making it a lot of fun. A back and forth with the points in just the second half. If you kind of looked at that as its own game, there was a lot more contest there, a lot more fight coming in from V-Town, really making it a fun second half to watch and to enjoy as a Derby spectator. And I think on that, it's time to call it a night.
I agree. We will be back tomorrow.
Bright
for
and early.
A whole nother day. 3 awesome tracks of action right here at Big O 2019. Come join us. We're going to have a great time. We got 2 more whole days of this stuff, and we will see you then. My name is Hazenberg.
And I am RPG.
Signing out. Good night.